Do me a favor. Look in the mirror. And I mean, really look. Look at the infinite colors in your eyes, the shape of your nose, the color of your skin, the way your dimples cave into your face, the way your lips naturally curve upwards, each and every freckle on your cheeks, the way they speckle your skin like stars, each and every individual eyelash, and how lusciously dainty they are. Your cheekbones and how they frame your face perfectly. You're beautiful. You really are. No amount of red pigmentation on your lips or sparkles on your eyelids could change that. The mistake we all make, as the population of women in the world, is thinking that we are not. And man, it is hard to maintain this mentality. With constant images of the ideal image of beauty thrown in our faces, it's easy to flip the switch and dislike what we see in the mirror. My ribs don't stick out like hers do. My eyebrows are asymmetrical. My freckles must be covered with foundation. I need lip fillers. Newsflash. No, you don't. None of that stuff makes you ugly, and yet the media begs to differ. So my topic is the portrayal of women and beauty standards in the media. And I chose this because as a female myself, the subject spikes a very personal area of interest for me. Growing up, it was difficult dealing with the impossible beauty standards portrayed in the media, especially during those extremely vulnerable teenage years of my life. And it led to nonstop comparisons between me and these beautiful women in advertisements, and it's very toxic, but it's a very mutual experience among the majority of teenage girls. So, imagine you see an image of an impossibly skinny woman with a perfect complexion and symmetrical face, and it leads you to thoughts naturally like, why don't I look like that? I must be ugly if I don't have the same features as this very attractive woman in this advertisement. I must starve myself to be skinny. I must Photoshop my pictures before posting to social media so my teeth look a little wider and my skin a little clearer. And, learning about the portrayal of women in media was an interesting section of this class for me, because it kind of just provided a sense of comfort as well, in a way, I'm not alone in this experience, and the standard set by women in ads actually is an unattainable standard among everyone, and I'm not just going crazy. But a quote that we went over in class that I really liked, I thought it meant a lot. As Cindy Crawford said herself, even I don't wake up looking like Cindy Crawford. And it's kind of a silly quote, but I think there's a lot of meaning behind that. A lot goes into the way that people like Cindy Crawford look. So, to be nice and clear, my main argument here is that the perception of women in media is extremely distorted in comparison to the reality of what women actually look like. And according to Shaw and Lee, in contemporary U.S. society, we are surrounded by images of beautiful, thin, although fit and sculpted, large-breasted, and sometimes full-bottomed, young, able, smiling women. These images set standards for appearance and beauty that are internalized standards that affect how we feel about our own bodies. So basically, we see these women in advertisements that look like freaks of nature, in a good way, of course, because we idolize these women and use them to set these standards, the baselines for what we think is beautiful. According to AC Nielsen Company, Americans are watching, on average, 3.5 hours of television per day. And what do you think we're consuming during those 3.5 hours of television per day? It can be good stuff, especially if you think about the amount of commercials that probably go into that, the amount of products that are trying to be sold to us during that time that are coincidentally attempting to correct our imperfections. And so we're constantly consuming this stuff, and maybe we don't even realize it, but it's changing the way we think about ourselves. It's changing the way we think about beauty standards, and it's really harmful to women, especially teenage girls. Okay, so I went out and I found my own little resources and pieces of evidence that support my argument about portrayal of women in the media. And the first one I found was this interesting article. It was created in honor of the 100-year anniversary of a makeup company called Maybelline. I'm sure you've heard of it. Maybe she's born with it. Maybe it's Maybelline. You know, the little slogan. So this source was pretty interesting because it kind of serves as a 100-year timeline of Maybelline and their ads and what they find to be beautiful. And while the beauty ideals have slightly changed over the years, one thing remains the same, and it's that this company is making money off of women's flaws. I just thought this evidence was pretty interesting because you can tell that as powerful cultural ideologies and institutions change, body standards and customs change as well. And my second piece of evidence to support my argument that I found is an article that basically just goes on a big long rant, kind of like I'm doing right now, about women and beauty standards and the media and all that jazz. But it's a really great article because there was this one line that really stuck with me, and it says, "There are beautiful ideals of beauty in different parts of the world, but the one thing that remains consistent is the fact that everywhere women are told that they are not good enough." And that I kind of thought that was amazing because, you know, in certain parts of the world, some women could want thin eyebrows, some women can want bushy eyebrows, and it just ranges in all different parts of the world. But the one thing that we all share, unfortunately, is advertisements and media telling us constantly that we are not good enough. Because if you think about it, ads are everywhere. You know, you can be walking down the street and there's a freaking ad telling you that you're ugly, you know. And it's just, it's a struggle that we're all fighting, but we're fighting it together. So. Okay, my third piece of evidence is a little bit different. It's a 15-second video. It's a Maybelline ad. It's from 2017, so it's a little outdated, I guess, but basically the advertisement is trying to sell their new mascara, and it's designed to lift and lengthen your eyelashes, and it shows this beautiful model with amazing lighting. Her skin is perfect. You can obviously tell that there was some editing done to this video, but she looks amazing. The lighting is great, and the camera quality is superb. And this woman, before the mascara and after the mascara, and oftentimes, you know, these comparisons before and after using the product are very dramatized because they really want you to see that difference and they really want you to buy your product. And if they see this model that looks absolutely exquisite with their editing and lighting and such, then you must think, oh, like this mascara will make me look like her. And so you go and buy the mascara, and it's very misleading because that woman in the video, I know after the video was being filmed, she probably didn't look the exact same way as she did in the advertisement. My fourth piece of evidence in support of my argument is an article all about the wonders of Photoshop. It's a magical thing, right? It shows readers that technology is super, super powerful, and it's used regularly to make models and other important media figures in photos look more appealing than their actual image. And Photoshop is used a lot before putting pictures of celebrities and things like magazines, on TV, on advertisements, of course, you know, all sorts of stuff where these famous people are being depicted. They must look their best. They must look impossibly beautiful. And this as well is super harmful. So my fifth and final piece of evidence in support of my argument about portrayal of women in the media is this little article that I found. It's about celebrities on Instagram versus celebrities in real life. And I'm sure you've seen a bunch of those, you know, comparison photos. And it's interesting because let's take Khloe Kardashian, for example. I know a lot of people are confused by the way she looks on social media versus the way she looks in real life. And it's pretty astounding sometimes because, similar to the Photoshop resource, celebrities use things like Facetune to modify their photos to their liking. It's like their own personal Photoshop. It can cause serious downward spirals for teenage girls just scrolling through Instagram, especially when they see modified images that set impossible beauty standards. So to conclude, I want you to do me a favor and look in the mirror again and really get close up in there, find all the pieces of your face that you may not find attractive and really tell yourself that all of these parts of your face are beautiful, because I know the media is telling you that they're not. I know the media is telling you something different, and I know the media is saying that you need to buy this product in order to fix your face. But I'm telling you right now that the portrayal of women in the media is completely misleading, and it leads to a lot of bad mental conclusions that we internalize, and it's really unhealthy. And I chose this topic because I myself struggled with this a lot growing up. I don't exactly look like the basic image of beauty. My hair's red, I'm really short, I got lots of freckles, I got a little bit of a pig nose, but anyway, I've learned to love all these parts of myself growing up, and I really think it's important for women everywhere to do the same and say that we aren't gonna listen to these constant ads and commercials that are telling us that we're not beautiful, because we are. And so thank you for listening, and that is my presentation on the false portrayal of women in the media and how that affects women and young teenage girls.